Hi, everybody. It's Debbie Warner for Gina K Designs. It is July 2026, and this is our release party. Gina and Tom, thank you for having me this evening. I'm excited to be here. Actually, I'm super excited to be here because I get to talk about stacking petals, my newest die set for Gina K Designs. I designed this die set a whole year ago, and I have been patiently, or I should say, impatiently waiting for its release. So that's why I'm extra excited today because I'm just so excited about this. I have so many samples and I had so much fun, and I know you are too. So let me tell you about stacking petals. So there are basically, I guess you could say, 3 to 5 basic flower shapes. However, when you combine them, they are so much more. So I did go ahead and create a vision sheet, an idea sheet. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but this way it shows you how you can stack the different petals and how they can come together to form a couple different flowers. So, let me tell you that this time I didn't make any tags because I needed some bookmarks. I've been reading so many books this summer, and I realized that I needed to retire my favorite bookmarks. So I made a few more. So let me show you all of my samples. So here you have the samples of the 2 bookmarks that I made. I did cut the bookmark shapes out using the beautiful bookmark dies. And then for the stamping on there, the one that says page marker, and read this page next, bookmark, and so many books, so little time. Those are all from my Make a Bookmark stamp set. And then the little dots on the smaller bookmark are from Hoots and Owls. On this birthday card, the only color of cardstock that I used was ivory, so I was going for a tone-on-tone look on this. I will explain to you my inspiration for the card in just a few minutes. I used our Harvest Flourish stencil as an embossing folder, so that's considered dry embossing, and you use a little squishy mat, and I'm sure Gina has a video that explains how to use a stencil as an embossing folder. So I used embossing ink and gold embossing powder for the greeting, and that happy birthday is from On the Inside Birthday. I used Master Layouts 18 to cut out that greeting, and I finished it off with our gold pearls. On this card, black onyx and Kraft are my cardstock colors. My ink is black onyx. The embossing folder that I used is Tapestry, and I only used that on half of that panel. The stamp set is Big Birthday, where that birthday greeting is from. I used Master Layouts 4 for the scalloped rectangle, and the embellishment is a frozen rhinestone by Gina K Designs. So this time of year, if I can sneak in a holiday card here or there, I like to do that because then come November, I'm not scrambling to make so many. So on this holiday card, my cardstock colors are skeleton leaves, red velvet, white, fresh asparagus, Christmas pine, and wild dandelion. My inks are embossing ink and lemon drop, and that lemon drop was used to swipe across the a skeleton leaves cardstock that had been embossed with our Holiday Flora embossing folder. Dies, decorative tag dies, favorite Flora. Stamp set, that greeting is from 'Tis the Season, and I did use white embossing powder and finished it off with a little piece of green ribbon. On this sympathy card, my cardstock colors are white, stormy sky, lucky clover, innocent pink, dusty rose, and petunia. For my inks, I used black onyx, but I also used some of the coordinating pinks with a detailed blending brush to give a little bit more interest to the petals. And then my dies are Master Layouts 18 for that greeting. And I used the stamp set with sympathy for the greeting, but I also used the wood grain background stamp in the black ink on that Stormy Sky panel. And then I embellished it with some black pearls. On this Get Well card, my cardstock colors are white, sweet corn, butterscotch, and peach Bellini. My ink colors are dark chocolate, sweet corn, butterscotch, and peach Bellini. Dies Master Layouts 18 for the frame, and I also use the inside that pops out for the inside of the card, and I will show you that in just a minute. Stamp sets, I use the pin dot, and I stamped that on the paper before I went ahead and cut out those petals. And then I used the same dark chocolate ink that I did the pin dot with to edge those. I use a little makeup brush to do that. Elegant Script was used for the background and Vertical Variety for the greeting. And on the inside, I did use Get Well Wishes. And here is a snapshot of the inside of the card where the inside of the frame from Master Layouts 18 comes out, and then I used it on the inside of my card. I rarely actually do a white card base, and so I almost always have a white panel that I put inside my cards. So this was perfect. On this card, my cardstock colors are white, wild lilac, edible eggplant, and I use vellum for the flowers and put those together with some brads. Ink edible eggplant. My dies, I use sentiment strips for that UR, and Master Layouts 4 was used for that scalloped rectangle. Positive greeting was the stamps, and the embossing folder is Petite Flourish. On this card, my cardstock colors are Skeleton Leaves, Cadet Blue, Marigold, Wild Dandelion, and Lucky Clover. For ink, I used Dark Chocolate, Cadet Blue, Marigold, and Fresh Asparagus. My stamp set for that greeting is Say It Large, and I used the Thick Brush Stencil for that background in the Cadet Blue. So I did tone on tone with that one. And then my embellishment are rainbow pearls, just one little one in the center of that flower. So on this card, I used Barely There, black onyx, and a bunch of our pastels for my cardstocks. Ink, black onyx. For the dies, I used our Circle Shadow Shaker. And then for stamp sets, I used Pin Dot Background, Hoots, and Owls for the greeting. So there you have my samples. I hope you enjoyed them, found them inspiring. I'll tell you, as I said last time, I get inspired by all of you. I have a friend, her name is Luann, and in June, she sent me a gorgeous birthday card of some die cut flowers. So I immediately texted her and I said, can I please copy your card design and share it on the release party? And she said, absolutely. And so I did. And this is the card, very similar to the one that I received from Luann. I just think it is stunning. It's so beautiful. And I just love the ivory on ivory and on ivory and then the gold accents. It's just this was definitely a favorite of mine. So I also really enjoyed this one because I love the pinks with the gray and the black, and I really, really like the way the wood grain shows in the background on the sympathy card. Another favorite, I'm sorry, I have so many favorites this time, was this one. It was just so bright and cheery, kind of wanted that to look a bit like a sunflower. And to make the stem, all I did is use my paper cutter on just one quick little thin piece of the green cardstock to match the leaves, and there you have it. So this was a good one as well. I will make sure that I do go ahead and put this on the Facebook page tonight, so that by the time you get your set, you will definitely be able to go to this and look at it for some ideas. And most likely, Sammy will put a copy of it on the product page as well. So there you have it. There we have July 2026 and Stacking Petals. I know if you decide to buy this tonight, you are going to enjoy it as much as I did. It's just so much fun, and it is so versatile, and there are so many more things you can do that I did. Cutting it out of like an old book so that there's words on it would be fun. Pattern paper would be fun. I loved the vellum. I just didn't want to show you another favorite card, but cutting them out of vellum, you can even take markers and color on the back of the vellum, and then that color shows through. Those are really pretty too. Alrighty then, that's all I have for tonight. Bye, everybody.